Hey there, thank you for joining me for another episode of Total Ramblings. This episode is I think this episode, I'm regarding it as a public service announcement because yesterday I was browsing Facebook and I was just absolutely bombarded with a whole load of absolutely adverts for trashy advent calendars that I am convinced are not even real. Let's get to it. This is the first one I saw. Classic Broadway shows. Clearly some kind of rip-off of the Funko Pop kind of aesthetic by some company called Gleely.com. These things are all by different, companies as well, by the way. I doubt very much this is licensed by Funko. I doubt very much that these Broadway shows have given a license for these things to be created, and I doubt very much that you'll actually get what they are advertising here. If I'm honest with you, this is probably at best 3D printed crap. I mean, it's all tat, right? I mean, you can say what you like about things like Lego Advent calendars, but at least that stuff it's reliable, it will last for a long time, and it's compatible with your existing Lego bricks, right? Then I started seeing other ones. So here's one. Here's one called from luxurybrands.uk. And you'll notice all these things are kind of roughly, they've all got money off. So they're all sort of around £23, £20-ish. This one, some really awful kind of looking, I mean, the cats look okay, but I mean, I doubt very much this is what you're going to get. I think you'll be lucky if you get a plastic or a paper or a cardboard cutout hanging off your tree, if this is your bag, to be honest with you. I saw one for Jurassic Park. So it just says Advent calendar on the box, but it says Jurassic Park in the description. A roaring countdown to Christmas. This one's very typical of the prices. This is from a company called Colorshade.co, and this is half price, roughly. So £50, and you can get it for £25. I strongly suspect that you won't get anything, and if you do, it'll be thoroughly disappointing, or tiny, or so fragile and rubbish. I think a lot of these images are AI, if I'm honest with you. There's some sports ones. These are all kind of very similar. This is the Green Bay Packers. What's that? American football, I guess. Again, very Funko Pop inspired. I've seen a very similar sports one. I think a lot of these images, as I say, are AI generated. I don't think these things actually exist. This one was £50, reduced to £27. Jaws, 50 Years of Terror Advent Calendar. Again, I doubt highly that this is licensed. Oh, it says official 50th Anniversary Collector's Edition. This is from cocopopcornshop.net. I doubt this is licensed. I'm happy to be proved wrong, but it looks like utter trash, doesn't it? Look, it just looks horrible. I saw a Star Trek one as well. I don't think I've got a picture of that here. Moving on, the Ford Mustang collection. I mean, they look like Hot Wheels, don't they? But I don't think you're going to get Hot Wheels. Can't remember the price of that one, but I think it was around £25, reduced from 50 as they all are. This one, slightly different. This is Ducks, Rubber Duck Advent Calendar, £9.99. I know there's a bit of a thing. There was a bit of a thing about rubber ducks a few years ago, but I think that time is kind of finished, really, if I'm honest with you. I just threw that one in as an interesting one. Dog Advent Calendar, so much akin to the cats one. I'd be very surprised if you get anything. Look at the size of those alleged windows there. These things are going to be absolutely tiny, if they even exist. 24 breeds, 24 days of tail wagging surprise. Save 49%, £17.99. Dragon in the Forest Advent Calendar. I think these things look horrible, if I'm honest with you. And again, I would be surprised if they were real. Oh, look, and there's a sale on. Shocker. Retro Games sponsored, buy two get one free. This is a Kiss advent calendar. We can also see a Jurassic Park one with the actual logo, Dungeons and Dragons, Simpsons, Looney Tunes and Haunted Holidays. There's so many of these things. This one here, foreverbeloved.fd, the Advent Calendar 2025, the Gearheads Christmas Garage. I thought that said garbage, to be honest with you. It's engine parts, right? I mean, these things are going to be really tiny, probably made of very cheap plastic. Then we come on to, who is this? What's her freaking name? Taylor Swift. Yeah. There's a bunch of Taylor Swift ones. Again, Funko Pop inspired. There's a few of these, and also we see this lovely family putting this massively over. I mean, look at the size of that thing in her hand. Either she is the size of, I don't know, my finger, the woman that is, not the Funko, or that's an exaggerated picture. And I certainly don't think it's going to look like that on the tree. Excuse me, I'm getting myself worked up. I'm going to have a drink. This episode is not sponsored by 7up Free, but it should be. Finally, I want to talk about this one. This is the one that tipped me over the edge. World War II Aircraft Advent Calendar 2025. I'd like to spend a little bit of time looking at the images here. Top right, a Lancaster bomber. Well, it's not a Lancaster bomber, it's a Lancaster bomber, and that ain't it. The Lancaster bomber was bloody huge, and it had 4 engines, and it was a bomber. It is not a single-engined fighter plane like you see there. On the right-hand side, 3 down, we have, allegedly, a B-17G Flying Fortress. I'm very sorry. It's just ridiculous. I suspect if you get anything here, you're going to get 24 models of the same plane in different colour schemes. And, oh look, £51.56 reduced to £24.27. There's one in here at the bottom, third one from the left at the bottom, a Ju-87B. That is not a Ju-87B. A Ju-87B is a Stuka dive bomber with the cranked wing. That is not it. This thing is just absolutely ridiculous and not even a vague attempt at historical accuracy. So, ladies and jelly spoons, I implore you, please do not buy this tat. In fact, I would urge you, don't buy anything from Facebook ever. I made that mistake once. I once bought what purported to be an electronic cat toy from Facebook, and I knew better at the time, and what I ordered and what I got were not the same thing. If you see an advert on Facebook and you really want something, and I'm not sponsored by Amazon here, I would suggest going on to Amazon or another trusted website and looking up the same thing, and the chances are you'll get it for the same price or cheaper, and you are guaranteed, or more guaranteed I would say, to get the thing that you are ordering. Do not order tat like this. My Facebook feed is being absolutely flooded with this kind of crap, and I have spent much of my evening since I've come home from visiting my wife in the hospital just deleting all these adverts and hiding them for the sake of the fact that they're repetitious. This has been a public service announcement. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Total Ramblings.